Got a little sidetracked with the moving stuff. The garden is starting to explode. We had a storm come through the other night, knocked down all of our golden amaranth. So today we're gonna focus on getting this stuff harvested out. We'll come back tomorrow and get the tomatoes. This amaranth, what I've found over the years is just to cut the heads off of it and just leave them set. The seeds come out pretty easily, but they need to dry first. We'll get it set up here to dry. We'll put it on our drying table. It needs a little work done. You know, I built this thing, shoot, 2004. So it's been like 18 years, I guess. I built this thing 18 years ago and it's still functioning, but it's made out of untreated #2 yellow pine. I can't believe it's lasted this long, but it has. Just needs some new anchors set in there, but it still converts real nice and goes back and forth from a bench to a table. So it's a good design and it lasted for a long time. I mean, the legs are still in really good shape, but I just got to fix the top. So we'll get this stuff pulled up and laid out, see what we got. Seeds, a lot of the seeds will fall out this way because they're loose. And then just let them sit there to dry. So we'll let that dry out on the rack. Typically what I found is like 1 to 2 days is pretty sufficient for that. You'd be surprised how much more knocks loose when you let it sit for just a couple days. And you can see just by me shaking it off, we got a little pile of seed down here in the corner. And it's, you know, it's pretty clean. I mean, there's a good bit of fodder in there and it would blow right off, but we're not gonna winnow this until we get quite a bit done. And you know, our goal is over the next year to get a threshing machine that'll thresh these different sizes of seed. This one teeny tiny head looks like this will make all kinds of seed.
You can tell. You'll see seeds on camera.
Just make it bring seed down there.
That's a big head. Small heads like these don't give you as much seed as that one.
Like I was talking about the other day, this stuff would be a whole lot easier to run through a thresher and get it out. But since we're only doing so little, I mean, we only planted 1 seed packet. It's a lot easier just to do it by hand this way. You're not gonna get all of it, but you can see we're only just a couple heads in and we've got quite a bit of seed here. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna process up the rest of these heads and we'll show you how much we got. We're about halfway through. What are you up to?
Gonna see how this tastes. I already got like a little bit right here. Actually pretty good.
Yeah, we're about halfway through. We got half of that done and I'd say we're doing pretty good. It's gonna yield pretty well. All right, are you doing amaranth? Let's see it.
Where'd you get that screen?
Oh, I found this in a garage. I saved it from the trash. These screens are like the best thing to use for amaranth like this. And they're also good for other seeds because it's good to get the chaff out if you need to get chaff out of larger seeds. But for this, we can get the larger stuff out by running it through this screen. And the amaranth will fall through, but the smaller stuff or the bigger stuff will stay on top. So we just shake it down. You get crazy with it, you can get a little vibration. I know, right? Fancy. Pretty straightforward, just rinse and repeat. And I'll go and get this cleaned down to the next stage. So, next stage, we don't have much wind out here, but I think we can get a decent winnow out of it still. A lot of this stuff is light chaff, so we'll just pour it and see what happens.
A little too late.
The idea here is just get that seed to fall just inside the tote and let the chaff drift out. And it works pretty good with just a slight wind. But that right there is a pretty clean batch of amaranth. There's still some bigger stuff in there, like this right here. And we'll run that back through the screen. It'll come out. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. Like I said, it'd be nice to be able to get this into a thresher because we want to be able to produce, you know, 1,000 pounds of this next year because this stuff really grows well. It's a good feed. We can make it into all kinds of different stuff. And it's something we really want to add to the homestead. So my goal is to work on that over the winter to try to figure out how to get this to run through a thresher. That way we can start to scale this process. So overall, that's not too bad. Seed looks pretty good. Still pretty high on the moisture content, but it'll dry. We'll set this on the porch and get it ready for tomorrow. At least now it's under cover and it can air dry. Check on these birds. And then I think we're gonna call it a night. It's like 8 o'clock, time to get in and get some dinner. Well, that's good. They're not cold. Got a couple of them hung underneath the light, but for the most part, they're out and about.